If you are planning a trip to Singapore this year end, you better cancel your trip. Or keep watching this video. Because in this ultimate video guide, I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks you will need to navigate the cranky weather, avoid the massive crowds, and a lot more to make sure that your Singapore trip goes smoothly without a hitch. Let's begin. Our rainy season begins mid-October onwards and it gets to the lowest of the low in the midst of December. During this season, the northeastern monsoon will bring in rain that can last for days. On the bright side, these are our cooler months. But that's not all, because on top of the rain, this is also our super peak season for tourism. However, don't cancel your plans just yet, because I know just how you can still have a good time in Singapore. Imagine being all excited to visit the Singapore Zoo. But on the day of your visit, it rained. It sucks, but it's actually highly preventable. Avoid booking your outdoor activity tickets in advance so that you can stay as flexible as the weather allows. However, how do you know which activities are good for which weather? I got you! I collected all the top attractions in Singapore in this one table, including the opening hours, the ticket prices, and most importantly, if they are weatherproof. Meaning you can enjoy these activities the same way, be it rain or shine. This table is part of my Singapore planner. It's free for you to download. I'll leave a link in the description below. All that I'm asking is for you to consider using my affiliate links when booking your tickets. I'll get a small commission at no additional cost to you, which helps me greatly. To sweeten the deal, you can also use my discount code DASHING to get a better price at checkout. You win, I win, everybody wins. So, to fully weatherproof your Singapore trip, if you're planning to visit those attractions that are not weatherproof, don't buy the tickets until you see the weather forecast for the day. The easiest way to keep up with the weather is to download the MyENV app. Because on top of the immediate weather forecast, they also live stream the active rain areas in Singapore, which gives you a huge clue to help decide if you should ditch for plan B or wait out the rain. But you might feel very disappointed when you open the weather forecast and you see this. Thundery showers expected every day for the whole week. What? However, this is actually one of the best weeks that you will have in this season. To avoid feeling unnecessary anxiety from the weather forecast, you just need to know there are 3 distinct rain types in Singapore. The first and the most common throughout the year is the convectional rain. Basically, when the sun heats up the city, it brings in humidity from the surrounding ocean, resulting in a sudden rainfall. This kind of rain can be a light drizzle up to a thunderstorm, but most of the time resolves within the hour. This usually hits in the late morning or afternoon, and sometimes in the evening. This is the type of rain that the forecast earlier was talking about. So when you notice a sudden shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, just find a shelter, sit back for an hour or two, you'll likely be able to continue your adventure after that. The second type of rain are the squalls, locally also known as the Sumatra squalls, because they form and come from the west over the Sumatra landmass. These are torrential thunderstorms with super strong winds. But you probably won't have to worry about them because half the time they arrive in the wee morning and resolves before 8 AM. You should still be safely tucked in bed at this hour. Sometimes it does strike in the evening. So don't be too quick to abandon your day plans if you hear howling winds and crackling thunderstorm in the morning. Because by 9 to 10 AM, the weather might be clear for you to go outdoors. On the MyENV app, the rain areas will show a very distinct, narrow red wall sweeping from the west to the east. The third rain type, and the nastiest, is the monsoon surge. In December, we get stronger winds from the northeast that carries lots of humidity, resulting in surges of extended rain that can last for days. Fortunately, this kind of rain is highly predictable. Just keep a lookout at the weather forecast. Even our ministers will retweet and repost this news so that everybody knows that a big, long rain is coming. If a monsoon surge is expected, swap out your outdoor plans with the weatherproof plans. Now, here are some things to pack on your Singapore trip or to leave behind so you can survive the nasty weather. Keep your enemies close and your umbrellas closer. If you don't want to be stuck and drenched in the rain, bring a portable umbrella on your outdoor plans. Even when the weather forecast is good, this tropical weather answers to no one. So, best to keep one of these handy to help you get out of the storm to your plan B. Your choice of outfit may also ruin your trip. This one is more on fashion, but avoid wearing clothes that becomes revealing when it's wet, especially for ladies visiting Singapore. Dress for the storm, not for the forecast. It will also be very helpful to bring clothes that dries quickly. Synthetics are preferable because not only that they dry easily, they're also excellent to wear in Singapore's hot and humid weather. Cotton clothes are comfortable, but the moment they are soaked in sweat or in the rain, they are terrible. The same rule applies to your pants. Avoid wearing long pants, especially if they are of thick and absorbent materials such as jeans, because our rainy days are also windy. As a result, even under the cover of umbrellas, winds will still blow the rainwater to your feet, potentially resulting in wet pants. Personally, I prefer wearing shorts or synthetic long pants. What about footwear? Well, after the rain, the floor will be wet and sometimes you'll see some puddles. And sometimes you can expect occasional puddles on the floor. That's why I prefer wearing waterproof and grippy footwear like Crocs. I can stand wearing wet clothes, but being stuck in my wet socks and soaked shoes ruins my day. I really hate wet shoes. Just imagine trying to dry them up. Ugh. And the smell of damp socks and feet when you take off your wet shoes and socks. Ugh. Now that you know your way around the rain, what about the crowd? The crowd in November is actually quite chill. But once December hits, you'll definitely see huge crowds in popular tourist spots. To avoid the worst of the crowds, when possible, avoid visiting popular tourist spots on the weekends. It's always preferable to visit on weekdays or explore the less touristy areas. Just watch my other videos, I got lots of ideas that you can explore. And for the best time to visit the popular tourist spots, such as the Merlion Park, preferably make your visit before 10 AM in the morning. Because look, so little crowd. If you go at any other timing, not only the sun is pretty hot, you'll also see this crowd. Not as nice to enjoy and especially harder to take a nice photo. Now, if you just want to enjoy your trip and don't want to worry about the rain, here are the best Singapore things to do during the rainy season. First is the food adventure. Singapore is a melting pot of culture and food. In fact, we got so many food options, people often call Singapore a foodie's paradise. The best place to experience our delicious and affordable local food is our communal food centers that we call the hawker centers. You'll find rows of hawker stalls selling all kinds of local food, usually at under $10 per portion. These hawker centers are well sheltered from the weather, so rain or shine, you can fill up your belly. If you love to get on a food adventure at our hawker centers, I collated all of the hawker stalls that got featured in the Michelin Bit Gourmand into this Michelin Hawkers Google Maps bookmark, including their recommended dishes that you can get at my digital shop. With this, you can easily whip out your bookmark at lunch or dinner time to find the nearest Michelin hawker to have your meal there. For the best experience at the hawker centers, try to go early or late for lunch so you can avoid the lunch peak. For dinner, go early because if you go too late, usually they are already closed. Other than food adventure, take a pick from the list of weatherproof activities that I shared in my Singapore planner earlier. For example, the Flower Dome and the Cloud Forest at the Gardens by the Bay are actually fully sheltered. Or get to know Singapore's history and culture, go on a day trip at the Civic District, and enjoy Singapore's top museums. Learn about the history of the region at the ACM, the miraculous history of Singapore at the Singapore National Museum. Or find out what happens when multiple ethnicities love each other very much at the Peranakan Museum. And don't miss out on the unique Gothic buildings you can explore for free, the St. Andrew's Cathedral and the Chimes. If it happens to rain on the day you plan to visit the Universal Studios at Sentosa, you can check out the Harry Potter Visions of Magic exhibit or the Oceanarium instead. If you love animals, you're gonna love this. The zoos are actually still quite a reasonable and safe option as long as there is no monsoon surge expected. There are lots of sheltered areas that you can still enjoy or wait out the storm, especially the animal shows which will run in any weather. Lastly, Singapore is a big city with many shopping malls. You can easily spend a whole day with your whole family at the shopping mall, eating, shopping, just playing, having fun. The biggest and the most entertaining malls are the Jewel at Changi Airport, the Vivo City, which is just across from Sentosa, or the string of big malls along the Orchard Road, many of which are connected via underground pedestrian paths to help you get from mall to mall without having to touch the rain. As a bonus, we have huge celebrations in December. For the merriest Christmas, visit the Orchard Road, which by now will be full of Christmas trees, decorative lights, and even a mini amusement park perfect for family with children. Last year, they even have a Christmas market in front of Takashimaya. You can also find snow at the Gardens by the Bay at the Christmas Wonderland event. This is one of the few times that the Gardens by the Bay public area becomes a ticketed area. For around $10 per adult and half that per children, you're good to enjoy Christmas lights, Christmas market, and the occasional fake snow. On the 31st of December, there's always a free countdown event that blasts off with fireworks at midnight. It's free to join, but a lot of people would want to be there, so you gotta get there early to get a good spot to watch the fireworks. And congratulations! You have now weatherproofed your Singapore year-end plans. However, what you gonna eat on those rainy days while you're here? Watch this next video to find out. I'll see you there. I came here to film in the rain. Woo. Camera's wet.